So here we are inside of Tokyo Station. You can see it is getting crowded. We're on the fringe of what's called Golden Week. The time to avoid travel here in Japan. How you doing, everybody? In this episode, I wanted to talk to you about the worst time to travel in Japan. And that would be right now. Between April 27th and May 5th, we call this Golden Week. I'll talk a little bit about the history and the background of this, but over the years, I have learned my lessons. You need to have a reservation. In fact, right now, they have here signs all over the station that you need to have your seat reservations in advance at this time, which is starting today, April 25th to March 6th. This is a plus or minus a couple of days on the fringes here. You need to have a reserved ticket for the Nozomi, in particular between Tokyo and Hiroshima. What we have here is what we would call the perfect storm. And I don't even think it matters as much as it used to in past years because we have so many domestic tourists now, so many international tourists, about 3.5 million per month, which is something like 45 million per year expected to come to Japan, which is breaking records. It's about half of what France gets, but it's a country that's much smaller where the tourists are confined to just a certain percentage of the country. Between Tokyo and Hiroshima, I would say like 80% of the tourists are in this one spot. So it's very hard to determine whether or not you should avoid travel on Golden Week anymore. Let me show you what Golden Week actually is. This goes back to post-World War II Japan when this was established here. Showa Day, which is the day, Showa was an era from the 1920s to the end of the 1980s. This day to show respect for the Showa period, I guess, or the Showa Emperor, I guess, is the 29th of April. It's day off from work, no matter if it's a weekend or not. Constitutional Memorial Day, after the Constitution was signed, May 3rd. They put this all together. The Greenery Day, and again, to make sure that everybody gets these days off, and then Children's Day, which is May 5th. So you have April 29th, and then 30, 1, 2 is just off, and then 3, 4, 5. Typically, there's a weekend thrown in there, so you could extend it even more. Japanese businesses, corporations, head offices, they're all like kind of closed, so this is the perfect time for Japanese to get a chance to get out. You don't have to use your vacation days because everybody's off, except for people in the service industry, which is, they got to be at the hotels and the tourism offices and things like this. But in the past, it was mostly domestic tourists. Now, it's such a mix. It's such a perfect storm here. So that's a little bit of background on this week in Japan, which is starting, I would say it's starting today because today is Saturday. It is a weekend. If you finished work on Friday, you probably got out of town if you're in Tokyo. The grass is always greener on the other side, so Tokyoites will go out to the countryside, take advantage of the nice warm weather without the humidity, the rain. I'm wearing a jacket today. There's a little bit of a chill in the air, some gray skies. The sun is not out, but when the sun is out, it is extremely warm and you have a really nice Golden Week. Golden Week, I guess you could say it's the prices that you're going to be paying at the hotels because they're usually a lot more, like 25% to 2 or 3 times the price of what it is in the low season. So you're going to pay more. But the transportation is also very, very booked. I'm looking inside of the Madoguchi where you would get the reservations, and there is a long line of people waiting to get their tickets, activate their JR passes, all this other stuff that's going on. And we'll take some questions here. Amanda Main is here. Hello, just wanted to let you know I finished the painting if you would like it. Oh, yeah, I would love to see it. It's my profile picture. If you pass it on, maybe I'll just send a random person for it. I'll go check it out. Thank you, Amanda. It's nice to hear from you. I'm actually this year, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be, and I haven't done this in a very, very long time. I'm going to be getting into the thick of things. We're taking a Shinkansen tomorrow morning, and we're going to be traveling to Osaka. So I'll be taking you with me on this adventure. So you want to subscribe to the channel. We'll take you to the Osaka Expo over the next couple of days. My wife, her school is dancing. She has a dance school for kids, dancing at the expo, which is quite a great honor, but it's also a logistical nightmare. But I'm going there more as a support, not to film the expo for the channel, but I'm going to do that anyways. But more just to support my wife, who's going to be quite busy. She's taking 15 students with her. But that also means that tomorrow we'll be taking the Shinkansen during Golden Week. And yeah, we got reservations and everything, but I was in charge of getting some of the hotels. It was not easy. It was not easy. Prices definitely up at a lot of places, especially in Osaka with the expo taking place. It's gonna be extraordinary to get a look at the Golden Week, not from the Tokyo Station where I am right now, which is where I'm usually doing it. There's a lot of energy here today. I have to admit, I feel the power of thousands of people going in different directions. Although I'm gonna be going home after this, but I live close enough where I can hang out at Tokyo Station. It's kind of cool. But I'm gonna see it from Shin Osaka Station, from Osaka City tomorrow. Maybe get a chance to meet up with my friend Kevin Riley, who has been down there doing tours of the city. He's really hard to get in touch with. He's staying really busy himself. But it'll be really interesting to see how it's all shaping up. What is the expo like at its busiest, at its potentially worst? Because we know it's been a nightmare booking things through their app, and it's gotten mixed reviews on how successful the expo has been actually. But they can turn this around. Nothing is written in stone. It's a long expo that's going to be going on. It's a World Expo. Osaka having it again since 1970 was the last time. But it's a long marathon for them that's going on until October. So there's a lot of time to turn this around. Not all the pavilions are done, which is also an issue. Some of the things that you definitely need to worry about during Golden Week: heavy crowds. Oh, it is the worst. Doing anything is a struggle. Like lines for a lot of the popular sites, usually 3 to 4. I went to Golden Week once, Tokyo Disneyland. Oh my God. I think this was before Disney Sea. It was like, who would wait 7 hours for a ride? Obviously, school kids would. And there was this Disney Sea Journey to the Center of the World was 7.5 hours for a 30-second ride. Oh my. It was like mind-blowing. I basically just did like the merry-go-round a couple of times and walked around the park. You couldn't even get food, the lines were that long. You had to leave to get onigiri from the convenience store at the station, but it's pretty crazy. It's also a story, so you'll have something to tell at the end of it. It might not be the greatest story at the time, but afterwards, something to talk about. You survived Golden Week. Due to increased demand, accommodations and transportation costs will rise. Yes. Availability becomes limited. Yes. Bus, in particular the buses, not so much the trains, but the bus prices are definitely higher. The reason? There is a shortage of bus drivers, so tours have been, so of course the bus industry is going to have something of an auction, meaning if you pay more, then we can get you a driver. So the prices of bus tours in particular, have really been going higher. I was thinking of doing an only in Japan bus tour again, couldn't do it. The prices of the bus tour just didn't make logistical sense. I don't want to charge visitors that much money when they could just do it themselves, but I think doing it yourselves is even hard because every bus tour is going up because not enough drivers, not enough buses for demand. It's kind of a problem right now. Taxis are going to be probably a shortage in tourist areas, so sometimes walking might be the best bet. Kyoto is a town where the public transportation's not the best, so taxis kind of fill in the gap. It might be a little bit harder to get the taxis. The period is marked by various festivals and events. There's a lot of festivals going on, including the Sumo Crying Festival, which happens on May 5th. You might want to check that out. Just Sumo Naki, I think it's called. Check out this festival. It's pretty funny where hundreds and hundreds of local kids go to the shrine, and sumo wrestlers pick them up and say, "Cry, cry," and see if the baby will cry. And if the baby cries, that means they're gonna grow up strong. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do that with Leo. I think he wouldn't cry. I think maybe he would cry. But it's a fun event that takes place on May 5th, something that you probably shouldn't miss if you are doing it. I'll take some questions here for you, but if those that are tuning in now, you can see that the station is quite busy. There's the window inside there, but this sign is all over the station, not just here, telling you, starting today, make sure you have a seat reservation on this line here. I think that Tohoku Shinkansen also requires seat reservations, but between Tokyo and Hakata, which is Fukuoka, seat reservations are necessary for Nozomi trains, and probably you want to get that for all the trains because there's not a lot of vacancies on there. Let me put it to you like this: in the past, at this time, I have had and Obon, which is in August, I've had to stand for hours, and It's one thing to stand on the Yamanote line or a local train line because you're going to get off in like 15 minutes. But to stand on the Shinkansen for like 2 or 3 hours from Aomori or from Osaka, it sucks. And it's crowded, and it's a long ride, and you're kind of going back and forth. You can feel the high speed when you're standing, for sure. You have to hold on to one of the backs of the seats, and you see the blessed few that are sitting, and you're going, darn it, I wish I could book the seats, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. A lot of people hanging out between the cars. So it's hard for those that have seats to get out and go to the restroom because you got to go through a group of people, and with foreign tourists and their bags. Now I'm finding, and we saw this last Golden Week, there's so many suitcases in the way, you can't even get out to, and this is the problem, get out at your stop. You have to get out 5 minutes before your stop to make sure that you can actually hit that 1 or 2 minute window. But now the train companies know a little bit more about this, so they're a little bit more mindful. I think the stops might be an extra 15 to 20 seconds longer, because if you're a tourist and you have a big suitcase or a big luggage, and you can't get it in that overhead, you're also in the way where people need to get off that train, and it really ruins the flow of the travel. So in that sense, it makes a lot of sense. Even the green cars are booked at this time of year. It makes a lot of sense that you would send your bags with Takubin or the postal service that you can get from your hotel and say, I'd like to send my bag the night before. Send your bag to the next hotel. Just take the stuff that you need. But when you get to the hotel, if it's within, I think, 300 kilometers or something, 400 kilometers, your bag's gonna be there, and you wouldn't have had to carry it on public transportation. It's kind of an amazing service. Ask your hotel about that, and it'll save you so much pain, especially at peak times like now, sending your bags ahead. All the hotels know about this, the Takubin service. There's other services as well. If you have an American Express card, you might be able to send your bags to your hotel for free using this when you arrive at the airport. Some Amex cards allow you this. There's certain benefits that you get as an Amex member, but check your credit card. Maybe some other cards can do this as well. This is absolutely a crazy time. Your mic has problems. Are you sure? Better? I don't know. We've been having so many issues with this microphone. Can you hear me now? I don't know what's happening. Why? I don't understand why this microphone it keeps on disconnecting. It's like we could wait. So are you saying this mic wasn't connected the whole time? It said it was connected. What? Oh geez. Do I have to start this all over again? I can do it. We have to do a take 2. Sometimes it just has to be. It was choppy. Writes in Ran. No, writes in Chong. I could do it quicker. You'll see me in action. The mic is connected. It just had occasional cracking. Hold on a second. Was connected but crackly. Was it crackly bad? It's not disconnected. All right, I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out. Okay, let's not redo this. I'm gonna be here tomorrow again. I don't want to spend all my time in the station. But here's another thing that was funny. There's so many tourists here, like international tourists, that the Wi-Fi is. Oh, we could hear you. It wasn't so bad. Thank you, Syed. There's so many international tourists here. I've never had the problem where the Wi-Fi didn't work because there were too many people on it, because everybody had like a phone plan, but I can't connect because there's too many people at the JR Rail Cafe. I can't connect, and this is why the live stream started a little bit late. I couldn't connect at the spots where I normally did to get an upload or download signal. Very, very odd. There's just so many people that are here from abroad, and we saw in the news reports here, which is really interesting. Japanese aren't traveling domestically anymore. They used to over the last couple of years, because international travel was really hard with the strong dollar, and Japanese wages have been stagnant for the last 25 years. So Japanese are typically making like half of what they're making what Canadians are making. And Canadians, believe it or not, make 50 cents to the dollar of American workers. So yeah, a lot of things need to change in Japan for sure, especially for international travel. Places like Guam are starting to feel it. One reason that we're going to Guam, support Guam, the travel there. This is America. A lot of Japanese and the Chinese aren't traveling to Guam, and a lot of the budget, a lot of their the travelers that go to Guam are from these countries, neighboring countries in Asia, because it's a tropical paradise. So I'm gonna pitch to Guam that I would love to help them, and where Guam is a destination for American tourists who are coming from, let's say, New York, and you come to Japan and you plan maybe 4 or 5 extra days, go to Guam, which is America, like this really unique look at one of America's possessions, and they call it a possession, but it's a beautiful island with amazing people and the food. It's like it is literally a travel paradise. It's different than Hawaii. But I won't know for sure until I go there in a couple of weeks from now. We'll be in Guam, which is crazy to think about it, like 2 or 3 weeks from now. But I really do think a lot of American tourists would be interested in going to Guam, especially its significance in World War II and the history behind it as a place where whalers would go. And there's this some history connected with Spain as well from hundreds of years ago. So I'm really looking forward to going to Guam and checking it out. But yeah, tourism is down there. But Japanese tourists, my point is, are not traveling domestically like they did before. And this also means that there's going to be some shifts in travel patterns. My biggest worry with this change is that if Japanese travelers aren't traveling, like going back to their hometowns or neighboring areas as much, foreign tourists aren't really going off of the main path, which is the Golden Route, which is what is right there between Fukuoka and Tokyo. They're not really going off of that. 90% of the tourists seem to be like in Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo, Nikko, Hakone, Kamakura, Nara, Himeji, Hiroshima, and maybe some of the places scattered in between. It's like 90% of the tourists are all in the same place, especially Kyoto. And it's a very scary thing if foreign tourists aren't exploring or getting out of the Golden Route, the area that's very famous. Kanazawa can be included there because Kanazawa is quite crowded too. It's no longer the hidden gem. Kanazawa is pretty crazy from what I hear, and it's not a very big town, so it can get congested. It's probably better than Kyoto, but it's still not a it's not a hidden treasure, but it's certainly a treasure. It's worth going to Kanazawa. Any questions? You guys can take a quick look around here. Let's see here. It's not as crowded. It's going to start to get really crowded in a couple of days. But I would say this morning a lot of people were getting out of town, and tomorrow I'll be getting out of town, and then all next week there's going to be lines to get onto the Shinkansen. Make sure you come early. I know you can hear fine. We did the voice checks already. I leave for Guam. Is that Irvin? I think you might know, but I leave for Guam in the middle of May. If you're from Guam and you've sent me a message, I got about 20 messages from people in Guam. We're going to be doing a meetup at the Wednesday night market. Everybody knows where that is on the island. But the Wednesday night market, probably early on, like around somewhere between 5 and 6:30, we're going to go to the before Leo goes to bed, probably. We'll go to the Wednesday night market before it gets too dark. And it would be great to see you there if you get off of work in time. If not, maybe we'll see you around the hotel, but we'll give you more information as time comes closer. But it'd be great to see as many of our viewers from Guam. I've already met a lot of them that came to say hi. I've already met a lot of them that came to say hi when they walk around the town. I think there's a group of people that are super friendly whenever you meet them, from the Philippines in particular, from Guam in particular, from Hawaii. We have this like really amazing friendly vibe that comes from from everybody, but in general, and from Thailand. There's places where people come up and they have these big smiles on their faces. Guam is one of those places, and I have been, and the Philippines is another place that I've been dying to go to for a very long time. Guam is now going to be checked off that list, and I hope to be back again soon. There's some stuff that's going on in some of the islands around Guam as well. So it'd be interesting to go back this summer, perhaps. A lot of stuff that commemorating the 80 years of of World War II is ending. I think that'd be quite significant. So we'll see what happens, what's in stake. But if I can go back and do more stuff with Guam, that would be so awesome. That'd be so awesome, because I think American tourists, they don't even know much about Guam, but so many tourists are coming here to Japan. I think is such a big opportunity to siphon off tourists that are coming to Japan, especially Americans, and get them to go to another part of America that seems like it's so far away if you look on the map. Guam is like in the middle of the Pacific. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll be doing some live streams, filming there, and then uploading them either at the hotel if I don't have a signal, or seeing if I could piggyback somebody's Wi-Fi signal to do a live stream. We'll see what we can do, but I'll be giving you reports from Guam and sharing with you my experience, because I'm really looking forward to this. I had to use my miles. It's like, okay, where should we go? What was on my list? Guam. Done. 3 days over there. All right, so there you go. No questions here. I see. How about Haneda Airport on Golden Week? Crowded, crazy. I think they're used to it. They increased the number of flights that are taking place, so it moves quite quickly as long as the weather is good. They do an amazing job of shuttling people into Haneda and then out to the other regional airports. The regional airports are fine. It's going to be Itami in Osaka, Haneda, Kansai, Narita, like the major hubs. And the regional airports, they don't have as many flights going on, but they usually can manage it quite well. But Haneda has so many, they have international flights as well as so many domestic flights. They do a great job of getting through this period, because they've been doing it over and over and over again. They revamped Haneda Airport during those last few years where nobody was traveling. They were able to do a lot of renovations that make the flow work better. Like taking, domestic flights in Japan are amazing. First of all, you can take bottles of water, drinks onto a flight. They have a machine that checks the drinks, so like a security machine. And I don't know why they don't have this all over the world, but they usually make you throw your drinks away. Not for domestic flights in Japan. You could check in 45 minutes before your flight with your luggage. At Haneda, you don't even have a human check your luggage. There's like this little futuristic, does anybody know what I'm talking about? You put it into this machine at terminal, I think it's terminal 2 at Haneda, and it automatically weighs it, and then a shield comes down like something from Star Wars, and then it just lightly, in a very polite Japanese way, leans your suitcase onto a conveyor belt, and then it's gone. It looks like it's the future, and then it gives you the thing. You do it all yourself. It moves so quickly. The domestic flights in Japan are a blessing. It's if anywhere where you need to take the Shinkansen for more than 3 hours, it's worth considering a domestic flight, because the time lost on the train, well, unless you really like that, is sometimes better spent at the destination. And that's what flying would do to Kagoshima, to Hokkaido, to Tottori, to Yonago or Izumo, to Shimane Prefecture, for example, to Shikoku, to Kochi. There are certain places in the country where flying would be the answer. Programming note for everybody, starting Mondays, for Patreon supporters in particular, I'm going to be doing a trip planner. I've talked about this in the past, but I think it's going to happen. That's Sunday night for those that are in the U.S. But Monday mornings we're gonna do it live, where we're gonna find if you'd like to plan your trip with me. I get this on Instagram all the time, but I want to do it with Patreon supporters because they're the ones supporting the channel. Maybe get somebody one-on-one with me and do it live, and we'll talk about what your travel plans are and how we can make this trip better, because everyone can learn from everybody else's trips, their itineraries, where they want to go. And instead of me just talking about it, it'd be great to help you out and plan this. And if you're interested in being one of the first people to do this, contact me, direct message me on Patreon, and we'll go over your travel plans. I'll get a Google map up there, and we'll talk about some of the attractions, and maybe this could save you a lot of money and time, wasted time, and maybe find some places in the area, day trips, for example, that might be really worthwhile. So again, I've been living here in Japan for more than half my life now, 26 years, going on 27. So I might know a little bit or two about planning. So yeah, this will be fun to have you in on a live stream, and we can talk about your trip, plan it out together. Try to do that every Monday for Patreon supporters, and then maybe I'll upload that to Only in Japan Go to try to get some more people. And with the postcard club, we need 5 more people, and I will hand deliver this next month's postcard is Osaka. And Caroline, I saw Caroline rejoined up on the postcard club. Thank you, Caroline, from California. We're about 5 people short of the goal, but I want to get on the Shinkansen and hand deliver it in Osaka, so you get an Osaka postmark for everybody. So if you're interested, the postcard club is a great way to support the Patreon channel, and then you'd be able to get into the live streams with the trip planners and be able to help you out. I will active on Discord. Oh, and our moderators say we could use some boosts on Discord too. Hello, hi, 821, was that good? We could use a couple more boosts on our Discord server. We lost a couple, but we have almost 20,000 there, so it's a pretty active community. It is. Always don't go to Japan in Golden Week. I think though, if you're looking at it, considering domestic travel is down, and international travelers are always going to be traveling, I think that maybe Golden Week, the impact of it being the worst time to travel, is starting to diminish a little bit. I think the travel road, in particular between the big tourist sites, is always going to be raging. And there's just too many. When you have 45 million tourists a year coming, it's going to be really hard to... oh, and UFO Bob, your video, the video just rendered. So it looks like that Google Earth Studio is working again, if you're watching. I just got the notification that my queued up video for a day and a half just got finished rendering. So that's all good news. I'm telling it to you live. I don't know if the Golden Week is going to be such an impact. I don't know. We're going to see what happens at the end of it, but it looks like international tourism is always raging. I mean, and by that I just mean like things are really busy at major attractions and sites, that it doesn't really matter anymore when you travel. It just matters that if domestic travel is also coupled in there. But again, my greatest worry is that if domestic travel is down, then international travelers need, I guess I encourage you to go out to the further areas off of the beaten path and try to find those hidden gems. There's thousands of them that exist in Japan that are gonna make you really happy and be the highlights of your trip, because I can say Kyoto, you either love it or hate it these days. Kyoto, though, is just super crowded, and there's a high possibility that it's the low part of your trip. But for a lot of people, it'll still be a really popular place, but a lot of people have been telling me Kyoto is just too crowded. I saw a report from Hawaii where there were some Hawaiians on a bus. They went past a destination they were planning to get off. They saw the crowd of people, and they decided just to stay on the bus and get the heck out of there. And I'm like, yeah, I've had that happen before, because if you get off the bus and you need to get back on the bus, you're not going to be able to do that. Basically, you're going to have to walk to the next destination. That could be an hour or longer. An hour to wait to get on a crowded bus, or an hour just to walk to the next destination. Those are sometimes your choices from like Ginkakuji, the Golden Pavilion, trying to walk get out of there from the bus. I heard that the bus stop is really bad after the first hour of the morning. It's just super crowded. But your experience could be different. Everybody's is different. But what we're seeing is that everybody has a lot of luggage right now. There's a lot of rolled suitcases, more so than in the past. People used to have just backpacks and stuff, but the rolled suitcases and the larger sizes of them are creating havoc. Even for me, even on escalators, it's been pretty crazy. So there's some live shots of people wheeling their suitcases around. So I think it's something that you need to consider, to downsize your suitcase or send it from hotel to hotel. But it's really hard to find those oversized luggage spaces on the Shinkansen because they're all booked already. So something to consider. There's a smaller suitcase right there. So those are the sizes you might want to consider. It's a lot of luggage, a lot of rolled suitcases. I'm just surprised, but we had 30 million tourists a couple of years ago, and now we have 45 million this year. So there's 15 million more tourists this year coming, which is like not double, but 50. Half of 30 is 15, so what is that? Like a 33% increase? I can't do the math in my head. It's a significant number of people more that are coming. There's more wheeled suitcases. It's crazy. there's a backpacker right there, so you can see the backpackers. There are some. That's how I used to get around. Wheeled suitcases? Are you kidding me? I put it right on my back, and that's how I got around Asia and the world with backpacking. That was a lot of fun. People aren't doing it as much these days. The younger group says, I don't want the weight on my back. Backpacking, that really toughened me up, man. And you'd start light, and then by the end of it, you'd get so heavy, you have to send stuff back home. I remember those days backpacking. It's a lot different. It's a lot different. I backpacked before 9/11, and then I backpacked a few years after. Before 9/11 was the golden age of travel. Flights were so cheap. Tourism was almost non-existent. You could go, I went to Angkor Wat in 1999. Almost nobody was in Angkor Wat, and nowadays it's like a crazy tourist attraction, Cambodia. So I chose right by traveling before I retired. And a lot of my American friends are going, why would you waste your money? You should go right into a career. And I said, nah, I'm gonna go travel and backpack on the cheap. He goes, but if you retire, you'll have the money. I said, no. And I was right, because the world has changed. Travel, China has much more money. More people have more money to travel. There's maybe 10 times more travelers than there were when I was backpacking 30 years ago. So there's a sign for Osaka right there for the expo. By the way, the last thing I want to tell you is in the basement of Daimaru here in Tokyo Station, I'm going to go check this out. There is an expo store, an Osaka expo store. So maybe if you go to my Instagram, I'll put some stories up here of the expo store stuff in Tokyo, and then I'll compare that to what they have in Osaka. That might be interesting. John, you need to go director if you're retired on making... You know, the one thing I regret about traveling at the end of the 90s, from 1996 to 2004, was my massive backpacking days. I went around the world 5.5, 6 times, 75 countries. YouTube didn't exist. What a waste. And then the other side of me thinks like this: what a blessing. I didn't spend any time thinking about how to set up the content or planning episodes. I spent all my time trying to travel and maximize my time, meeting people, talking to them, having fun, learning about local cultures. It's both a blessing and a curse that I missed the YouTube boom during my traveling days. I get a lot of photos, but after YouTube hit in 2006, and I'd say probably 2012 when I started, that's when it got kind of crazy, and tourism has ballooned because of increasing wages, and not just, I mean, all over the world. In China and India, more people can afford to travel, but also more people want to travel because they're seeing it's not that scary out here. You know, I was traveling, I remember, when was it, in 98, I went to Yugoslavia. At the time it was Serbia, I think. And NATO was having bombings there, and I got into Novi Sad, and I think they were surprised. It's like they'd never seen a U.S. dollar before, and they hadn't seen tourists in years. And I went in to change money. I got a visa from the Serbian embassy in Budapest. Like, nobody else was there. I didn't know why. I guess I wasn't keeping in touch with world news at the time. There wasn't much internet in 1998. Like, you could get on the internet cafe, but when I went I'd usually go to the U.S. embassy, and I would ask the Marine who was in charge, say, could you print out the latest news? This is how before the time I was. And he would give me a printout from like an Okidata printer of the news that was happening around the world, so I'd be able to stay in touch. You couldn't get English newspapers so much, but I could always go to the U.S. embassy, and the Marine or whoever was in charge would give me a printout of the news. There weren't as many travelers, U.S. travelers in particular, like in Romania, in Bucharest, or in Sofia. I think I did that at the U.S. Embassy in Sofia. So it gave them something to do, but certainly travel has changed over the last couple of years, for sure. Are there long-term luggage storage services? Manny, this is an interesting thing. You might be able to, I don't think that this might be a hack, but you can send your bag by Takubin, and you can schedule your bag to arrive like 10 days later. or something. So that's something you guys might want to consider this. I don't know if it's something they want to promote, but if you on the form you can write in when you want to receive your package, and you can set that to like 10 days later, and they kind of store it on the side there for you for 10 days, and then they'll deliver it. I don't know if they still do that, but it's something of a hack. And it doesn't cost you anything extra. There are some places that in Tokyo Station where there are some left luggage places, but I don't know too much about that. I use my phone for you can use Yahoo, which is still a big thing in Japan for travel timetables, but there's a couple of apps that you can use in English that work out pretty good. Or get the book for 500 yen. There's a book of train times in Japanese. I would have traveled to all those places if I had known that over-tourism would be a thing. Simon writes in here. I didn't know that'd be a thing. I just knew that before 9/11 and after around 1995 when the wall came down, 1992 when the Berlin Wall came down, until 9/11, travel was open to everybody. It was amazing. I remember, yeah, it was really amazing. A lot of things happened between that time. Romania became a place where only Americans, when I went there, could go to Romania visa-free. So I went to Romania, and it was the craziest experience. Like, you can't get these kind of experiences anymore because Romania is much more industrialized, much more modern than you would think. But back then, I remember getting the train from from Budapest to Cluj-Napoca. It's like almost a full day thing. When I got to the Hungarian border, the entire train cleared out. And we roll across the Romanian border, nobody on it except for me. I remember getting into Romania, and guys with like AK-47s go through the trains, and they walk past my car, and they see me in there, and they did a double take, and then he came back in there. I showed them my passport, American passport, and they got huge smiles because they knew that Americans could come in there visa-free, and they were finally starting to come. Tourists were coming to Romania. I was scared out of my pants, though. I was scared to death. There's these guys with AK-47s took my passport. Am I gonna get my passport back? And they came back in there after like 15 minutes with a nice big Romanian passport stamp. I got into Cluj-Napoca at midnight without a hotel reservation, and somehow I managed. I made some great Romanian friends that are my friends still to today. But the road from Cluj-Napoca station to the cathedral was dirt. And half the cars were like those old communist era Russian-made cars. And the other half of the transportation seemed horse and buggy. I'm not kidding. It's 1997. I'm not kidding. It was crazy, awesome experiencing things. And now Romania is one of the most modern. It's a very modern country, although there's a lot of traditions, but it's a beautiful place. Bonjour. All right, guys, I gotta go. Some of the train stations in Berlin's are real old, full of history. Absolutely. That's another thing. I think traveling in Berlin after the wall came down was really great. I was there in '96. It was really great to see. Just a couple of years after that. All right, everybody, take care. I'll see you in Guam. If you're from Guam, I'll see you in Guam real soon. But again, this is the time that you should reconsider traveling to Japan. And if you are coming here, I mean, right now it's not too bad, but it's going to really pick up. And it's a time you want to make sure you have train reservations to keep that smile on your face so you can enjoy your trip even more. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you leave a comment. Don't forget to see my latest video, the Shimbashi night tour, which is really incredible. These places are starting to go extinct in Shimbashi, so go check that out. I think it's a good look at the inside, a historical side of Shimbashi. I think a lot of you have already left comments and everything, so I really appreciate it. And soon enough, you'll be seeing this character on your screens in like 36 hours or so. All right, guys, mata ne.